What's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy Jay Tuck, Real Cowboys Fans Stand Up, and you're now tuned into the Cowboys Fans Only channel. So if you are new, do us a huge favor, comment, like, subscribe somewhere down there, and be sure to turn that notification bell to stay updated with all Dallas Cowboys news and content. So let's talk about it, Cowboys Nation. So the topic of discussion has been Amari Cooper. On Twitter, people are asking me about this situation, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere I go. And my thoughts is this. I want to headline with this to make sure that we are clear. I believe if the Dallas Cowboys are going to win a Super Bowl, Amari Cooper gives us the best chance to do so, period. So, I know this is kind of a civil war thing between Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Like, you got to choose between the other, right? I want them both. I want all the weapons. Y'all know me. I like firepower, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because even though we did have it in some instances, we didn't have it throughout the full season, and our offense struggled tremendously. So I want Amari Cooper out there on the field with CeeDee Lamb. But it ain't all about what we want, right? It ain't always about what we want. It's what the Joneses want. So what do I think that the Cowboys are actually going to do? I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to move on from Amari Cooper. Now, they got to think quick, because I believe if he is still on the roster by March 20th, that he's going to be on the hook for $20 million. So I know there's been this rumor floating around. Maybe we trade him to Jacksonville for a second round pick and a third round pick. I'm not taking that trade. If it's me personally, I think Amari Cooper has a first round value. So I'm trying to get a little bit more negotiations if I'm going to move on from Amari Cooper. Now, they do have a way to restructure the contract or get out of the contract, which I believe they will. I don't think they're going to restructure with Amari Cooper. I think they're either going to just keep him as stated with the contract, or they're going to get out from it. So it's going to be something that we definitely got to keep our eyes on. And I know this is why Cowboys Nation right now, we kind of, got this animosity with this dark cloud, because we believe that Amari Cooper gives us the best chance to win. But, sometimes in Dallas, that isn't what it's always about. So it remains to be unseen. Now, the next conversation, and y'all really want me to break down the film on this? Y'all really want me to explain this? Because y'all know I'll do it. Y'all know I will do it. But a lot of people are saying, Tuck, CeeDee Lamb isn't a number one wide receiver. And my question to those folks, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean he's not a number one wide receiver? They say, oh, he doesn't run routes like Amari Cooper. Well, duh. Nobody runs routes like Amari Cooper in the NFL. So you got to run routes like Amari Cooper to be a number one wide receiver. Des Bryant didn't run routes like Amari Cooper, and he did a pretty good damn job as a number one wide receiver, don't you think? Next conversation is, well, he doesn't get double teamed as much. Amari Cooper don't get double teamed as much as y'all think, and we can break down that film if you want to as well. Some people they say, Tuck, I prefer CeeDee Lamb as a slot wide receiver. I absolutely agree with that notion. I feel like CeeDee Lamb is an X or a Y, or not X or a Y, X or a Z wide receiver. Play on the outsides. He's not really an inside guy. He's able to play in the inside. He did fine, in his first two seasons, but where he really needs to be is on the outside. So what people have to think about when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, if you do not believe that CeeDee Lamb is a number one wide receiver, then go ahead and admit he was a bust then. That's basically what you're saying. So you're saying after 2 years of being the 17th pick in the 2020 draft, that he's still not ready to be a number one wide receiver, then that was a wasted pick, right? Because we did not draft CeeDee Lamb that high to be a number 2 guy or a number 3 guy in our offense. That wasn't the case. We drafted him to be a number 1. I believe once we move on from Amari Cooper, if we do, I hope we don't, but I feel like if we do, then CeeDee Lamb will be ready to be a number 1 wide receiver, period. And you cannot convince me otherwise. And if y'all want to go to the tape, y'all know we can go to the tape, because I can break it down. We can break it down to the nitty gritty. But I feel like CeeDee Lamb would be able to step in that role, because he's been in this Kellen Moore offense for 2 years. He's going to be prepared. Now, there are some things that he does need to clean up, right? But it's not due to his skill set. Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves, is Kellen Moore ready to use CeeDee Lamb like a number 1 wide receiver? And that's a whole different separate video for another day. That's the real question that should be asked. But it comes to skill set, everything that these other guys that y'all be listing off, Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb possesses the same talent, right? He was a number 1 wide receiver at OU. There was no other wide receivers, and he did just fine in that same situation. So I have no concerns about CeeDee being the number 1 wide receiver if Amari Cooper was to move on. But if Amari Cooper moves on, then you maybe can look at the possibility of maybe the Cowboys negotiating a deal with Michael Gallup. I feel like on the open market, he could probably get, about 10 to 12 mil for Michael Gallup. But, I heard James Slater kind of report before that Michael Gallup likes being in Dallas, and so maybe he wants to stay. And then you have CeeDee Lamb. You have Michael Gallup coming off the ACL, but he'll probably be around middle of the season. You could re-sign Cedric Wilson. You have Simi Fioco, re-sign Malik Turner, and then draft a young, explosive rookie like a Sky Moore, right? In maybe the second or third round. And then your wide receiver core is looking a little different. I know a lot of people are afraid of the Allen Hurns year. This isn't that. I feel like we got a lot more talent already in-house than we did at that situation when we were post-Dez Bryant. So I'm really not concerned, but like I said, I would like to have Amari Cooper on this Dallas Cowboys roster. Another interesting name that was brought up today as well is DeMarcus Lawrence. And so DeMarcus Lawrence, he's a complicated situation. He's a veteran leader on our team. He still has 2 years left on his deal. I think he's going to be on the hook for $19 million this season. So the conversation is, do you restructure it and kick the money downhill, or do you move on from DeMarcus Lawrence? Now, for those who do not understand, let me break it down. Restructuring a deal is like, say for instance, your phone bill is due and it's $5,000. And y'all probably like, damn, Tuck, that's a very expensive phone bill, right? But some of y'all talk a lot, so your phone bill probably is that high, right? $5,000. And you tell your phone company, you know what? I ain't got it today. I ain't gonna have it next month either, right? So let me pay you $30 for this year, $30 for next year, and then the third year, I'll pay you your $5,000. That's pretty much what you're doing when you're restructuring. So if you do 19 mil, maybe you get that number a lot lower. They did it with Dak Prescott. They did it with Ezekiel Elliott and some other players, right? Lowers their cap hit for this season, but in the upcoming seasons, 2 to 3 years down the road, that cap penalty is going to be drastically higher because you still have to pay that man his money one way or another. Now, the question remains to be unseen. Is DeMarcus Lawrence going to accept that? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Dallas Cowboys handle DeMarcus Lawrence. So you got to think, like, even though he's our veteran leader, our defense is going in a completely new direction. And we know that young Lion is now the leader of the locker room. So do you really need DeMarcus Lawrence? I mean, he only had 3 sacks last year. You still got to sign Randy Gregory possibly. So that is a whole interesting dynamic of how things are going to work. But me personally, I would like to have DeMarcus Lawrence in-house, but I'm not sure if I'm a fan of kicking the money down the hill either, because he's getting a little long in the tooth. And when you kick that money down the hill, they have to remain on the roster, or you have to find someone who's going to take that bad contract and pick that up. So for all you Zeke haters out there, that's the situation. Who wants to take that one hit in 1 year? The money has to work when you try to maneuver these players after these restructures. So if you're going to restructure for 3 years, you're pretty much gambling on the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be on the team for the next 3 years. And, is that the kind of trend that I want to see with this Dallas Cowboys defense as far as their trajectory and direction they're headed? Possibly not, but it remains to be unseen. But it's your boy J Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. Like I said, I wanted to chime in real quick, talk about the hot topic button of the day, Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm all weapons, man. I want the weapons in-house, but this Coop situation is got a lot of people stressed out, and rightfully so, because I think that Coop is a valuable asset to this offense. We just got to utilize him properly. I feel like before the Minnesota game, everything was going great with Coop. Then something happened at post-Minnesota. He had the vaccine situation. He was talking about not getting the ball as much. It was a whole spectacle. But I feel like this offense is much better and more high-powered when Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb is on the field at the same time, man. It's your boy J Tuck. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace.